Hey everyone, thought I'd do a video, and today I'm going to be doing my September wrap-up, my RYBSAT wrap-up, and my October TBR. So I don't really think that I read enough books in September to make it just one video, and I feel like I needed to combine this video, so that's what I'm doing right now. So let's just get right into it. So the first book that I read in September, and pretty much the only one I read in September almost, is called Impulse, and it's by Ellen Hopkins. It's really, really good. Really good. It's about real life issues. There's a lot of teen drama in here, and it's super, super good. Once you get over the fact of how it's written, because it's written in a poetic style, it took me a while to get into that, and then I pretty much just flew through it, except until I got to the last 100 pages, and then for some reason, it just took me forever to read that last 100 pages, which is why it's one of the only books that I read this month, well, not this month, in September, so that's the reason why. Super good. I really recommend it. So the last book that I read in September and the first book that I read in RYBSAT is called Unwind, and it's by Neal Shusterman. It's really, really good, and the reason why this is in September, because RYBSAT actually happened in October, is because I started a day early and ended a day earlier. The reason being that Miranda lives in Australia and her hours are few hours, I don't know how many exactly, a lot of hours before mine, about a day's worth. So that's why I started early. It's because I just wanted to read so badly. So I decided to read it early, and I'm super happy because I read it and it was so good. It took me like a day to read. I'm so happy about that, and it's just so, so good. So yeah, I read this in September and I started reading it in RYBSAT, and I finished it before September so that it counts in September, so I'm super happy about that. Alright, so the next book that I read is actually an Unwind novella, and that is called UnStrung. I'll leave the picture right here. It's really, really good. I am so surprised at how Neal Shusterman was able to make such an amazing novella. I'm not usually into novellas. Usually novellas are just too short for me. It was a little bit short, but it was so, so good. So good. It was so worth it. And if you guys ever read one novella in your life, I really suggest that you read this one. Alright, so the final book that I read for RYBSAT was called A Visit from the Goon Squad, and it is by Jennifer Egan. And the thing is with this novel, I'm not really too happy with this novel. It's not really a good novel in my opinion. It's an okay novel, but I probably won't be reading this again in the rest of my lifetime, which is really surprising for me. Because usually whenever I read a book, I end up saying, oh, I'll definitely read that later sometime in my lifetime. But this is one of those books, probably the only book that I will most likely never read again in my life. It was confusing because each chapter was pretty much in a different view, I guess I could say. And the ending was, it was okay. If the ending was anywhere near as awesome as any of the other books that I've read, then it might have saved the novel, but the ending was just, I didn't like the ending at all, as you guys can tell. I don't really like this book. If I probably wouldn't have picked it up unless I had to read it for school. This is a school novel, and I had to read it, but if the only time I'll ever reread anything in this book will probably be for the rest of the semester for my class. Alright, so the last thing to do in this video is to do my TBR for October. I'm super excited about this. There's so many good novels out there that I want to read, and it's just awesome. I'm super excited about this pile of books, so let's just get right into it. Alright, so the first 3 books that I'm going to be reading for October is UnWholly by Neal Shusterman, UnSouled by Neal Shusterman, and also Undivided, which I'll put right here because it has not come out yet. And this is the reason why I want to read this whole series this month, is because Undivided is coming out on October 14th, and I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about this. It's a really creepy type of novel, which I'm really, really into. It's a really creepy series, and it just seems perfect for October to get me more in the creepy type of mood, I guess you guys can say. I always want to have a creepy book to read during October so I can psych myself, like pump myself up, not psych, pump myself up for October, because Halloween happens to be my absolute favorite holiday. So I'm super excited about that. I love creepy movies. I love creepy books, which is why I watch a whole bunch of creepy movies and creepy books and get myself pumped up for Halloween. The next 3 books that I want to read for the month of October is The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, and I'll put a picture right here of In the Afterlight, and they're all by Alexandra Bracken. There's so many raves going on about this book. I had to get the first 2 books, and I have to read these because I have not read any of these. I tried to read The Darkest Minds a couple of months ago, and for some reason it just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know why I couldn't get into this book, but I am so ready for it right now because the final book is coming out on October the 28th, so I'm super excited about that. So yeah, I just really need to get into this because so many people have been raving about it, and I want some of that too. I want to get into the pumped up mood everybody else is getting into, and it's sort of a paranormal type of series too, so that also fits into the theme of creepiness for October. And the next book that I'm going to be reading for October is A Monster Calls, and it is by Patrick Ness, and it was inspired by Sile Ben Daoud. I could be pronouncing that wrong, and then it's illustrated by Jim Kay. So I'm super excited about this because I recently just finished Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking Trilogy, and it was so good. And after that, I swore to myself that I would buy a whole bunch of Patrick Ness's books, and I haven't yet, but A Monster Calls is out, and it has been out for like at least a year now, and now I'm super excited for it because it's like super creepy. I actually wanted to get this last Halloween, but I don't know why I didn't. But anyways, now I have it. It has a whole bunch of illustrations in it, and it's partially illustrations and partially reading, I guess, words, I guess you could say, sort of like that. But it looks super awesome. Everybody has been saying really good things about this book, so I'm super excited for it. And it looks really creepy, and it fits into the theme of Halloween creepiness, like I said. So I'm super excited for this. I have a feeling that I'm going to be reading this tomorrow. And yeah, it's Patrick Ness, guys, so I'm super excited about it. Can I say excited even more than I've already said? No, I don't think so. Alright, and the final book that I am hoping to read for October is called Criers Cross. It's by Lisa McMann. Lisa McMann is really good. She's actually the person that made the Wake series, and I recently finished that series last year, just before the end of last year, I believe. Or maybe the beginning of this year. Either way, I finished her Wake series. It was pretty good. It wasn't the best series I've ever read, but it was really good, and I remember reading it when I was like younger, and I was super excited for it then, and I was even more excited for it now. I actually finished it. It took me forever to finish it, guys. But anyways, Criers Cross looks really good. It looks really creepy, which is why I decided to get it. And it's from Lisa McMann, so I just had to get it. It's about 200 pages, which doesn't seem like too much because most pages are like up to 300. So it seems like a really nice short story that I could just fly through, it looks like, and I'm just super excited for it. Can I say excited even more? Oh my gosh, I did not mean to do that. Alright, so that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one, so bye.